Airstrikes on Gaza, rockets fired towards Israel and hundreds reportedly killed. Immeasurable destruction. The conflict between Palestinian militants in Gaza and the Israeli military moved into a second week with these all too familiar scenes and no end in sight. This week began with even more bloodshed. The Gaza Health Ministry, which is run by Hamas, says 52 people in Gaza were killed Sunday. That's the most in a single day in the current flare-up so far, bringing the total number of deaths in Gaza to 200. That's according to the ministry there. Well, on Monday, the Israeli military says it killed a top commander of the militant group in Gaza. The IDF also bombed what the military says was an underground tunnel system used by Hamas. Fighter jets hit the homes of several top Hamas commanders, and Israeli officials say these buildings were part of a, quote, terror infrastructure. Palestinian militants fired rockets at several Israeli towns. 10 Israelis have been reportedly killed in the past week. Well, the UN Security Council held an emergency meeting Sunday in which the Israeli and Palestinian representatives accused each other of committing war crimes. Secretary General of the UN pleaded for a ceasefire, but that appears unlikely to happen anytime soon. Take a listen to what Israel's Prime Minister had to say.
We'll do whatever it takes to restore order and quiet and the security of our people and deterrence. We're trying to degrade Hamas's terrorist abilities and to degrade their will to do this again. So it'll take some time. I hope it won't take long, but it's not immediate.
Well, seen as reporters fanned out across the region covering the various aspects of this conflict. We are along the Israel-Gaza border as well as in Jerusalem. We're also going to look at the anger growing across the region and the world. We will connect you to the White House, where President Joe Biden is under increasing pressure. Well, I want to start with CNN's Ben Wiedemann, who's reporting from Jerusalem. And Ben, as we've been seeing, Sunday, yesterday, was the deadliest day so far since this conflict began a week ago. And of course, those strikes continued overnight. Israel saying it's targeting Hamas tunnels in Gaza.
Yes, it calls those tunnels, Linda, the so-called Metro, an extensive system of tunnels, it claims, that allows Hamas fighters and officials to move out of the view of Israeli drones, airplanes, and other means of surveillance. They say they've destroyed until now about 100 kilometers of those tunnels. And, of course, it would be those tunnels that that Hamas and other organizations in Gaza would use in the event of an Israeli ground incursion, a ground incursion that at this point doesn't seem to be imminent despite recent tweets by the Israeli military. Now, meanwhile, the situation in Gaza is becoming ever more difficult as a result of airstrikes, as a result of the cutoff of fuel from Israel to the Gaza Strip. The power situation is becoming ever more difficult as well. The water system has been severely damaged as well. As many as 40,000 people have taken refuge in UNRWA schools, and that's the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, because they're hoping that those are sites that will not be hit by Israeli airstrikes. And so the humanitarian situation continues to deteriorate dramatically. And amidst all of this, we sometimes forget there is a COVID pandemic going on. We spoke to a representative of UNRWA today who said that as many as 30% of the population in Gaza has been or is infected by COVID. And obviously, any attempt to vaccinate the population or test the population is being crippled by the ongoing hostilities for a place which a few years ago a senior UN official said Gaza is a toxic slum. Linda?
And Ben, just talk to us about the tactics Israel is using right now with its airstrikes, because we are seeing entire buildings collapsing, including one on the weekend, which houses the bureaus of international media, including the Associated Press and Al Jazeera. We know Israel has the ability to pinpoint its attacks. Why are we seeing entire buildings destroyed right now?
That's a question I've asked myself and many others many times since the AP and Jazeera building was brought down. Prime Minister Netanyahu calls them terror towers, which sounds wonderful, but the fact of the matter is that these so-called terror towers include commercial offices, media offices, residential homes for ordinary civilians. Apparently, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he has not been shown the evidence that Israel keeps on talking about, that it has, for instance, the Jalab building, the building that was brought down on Saturday night, that contains the Jazeera and Associated Press, contained, I should say, their offices. He has not seen that evidence. We've seen Israeli military spokesmen and officials talk about evidence, but none of that has been made public. And even if there is evidence, I have seen time and time again, the Israelis have the technology to take out apartment 3C, the living room, not the kitchen. And so I don't understand how they can take down an entire building if there may be even a floor or two that's being used by Hamas or any other militant organization in Gaza. Linda?
Ben, we are incredible to get that perspective from you, given how your extensive reporting in the region. Thanks to you. I want to get the view now from the border region. Our Nick Robertson is there as Israel fires artillery into Gaza. Nick, Egypt was instrumental in brokering a truce, the last Gaza conflict 7 years ago. Again, Egypt and Qatar and other world players are trying to broker a ceasefire. What are the major hurdles right now?
Well, Hamas says that there are two hurdles. One of them is they have a demand that if there is a truce and end to the hostilities, that Israel ends what they describe as provocations in Jerusalem. And the other hurdle is that Hamas says that Israel is demanding that Hamas goes on a ceasefire first by 3 hours. So that's not acceptable to them. That's what they're saying. We don't know the Israeli position on this, on those talks and negotiations. But what we do know is that Israel's prime minister has said very clearly that he doesn't feel that this is the moment to end the conflict, that the Air Force, the Israeli Air Force, is still going after Hamas tunnels, which they use to move fighters around the battlefield. That's what Israeli Defense Forces say. And this artillery position here has been firing shells into Gaza over the past couple of hours. Freshly delivered artillery rounds have been located at the back of those weapons in the past couple of hours. So the indications are from here, and these artillery positions are often used to target those tunnel networks as well. The indications are from here that there are still targets that Benjamin Netanyahu and his government believe they need to hit while Hamas fires rockets out into Israel, rather than put a pause on the fighting right now. So I think over the weekend, you know, with the Qataris and the Egyptians and Hadi Amr, the U.S. diplomat in country, really putting some effort and their shoulders into getting a cessation, I think this Monday afternoon here now, you get a sense that this could play out for some more time.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. Nick Robertson, as always, our international diplomatic editor, thank you for being there near the Gaza border. We will speak to you soon.